Today's topic is system responsibility. It can feel really hard to take responsibility for actions of other parts. It can feel really unfair that you didn't do something yet you have to deal with the consequences, or the other way around where you would have taken care of something but a part took over and did something else instead. So today we're going to talk about why this is important to deal with and how when we do it can reduce the internal conflict. Welcome to AudHDID, a channel dedicated to autism, ADHD and dissociative identity disorder. The first reason that we need to deal with how our parts interact with the outside world is because the outside world sees us as one person, whether we agree with that or not. So there might be a legal consequence. For example, if you have a part who drives too fast or runs through a red light, you might get a ticket and points on your license. If you have parts that self-harm, you might get hurt. If we don't look at why these patterns are there, then they will keep happening to us. DID will feel really frightening because it's something that keeps happening to us. However, when we start to communicate with our parts, we can understand why they're doing what they're doing. For example, I had a part who would come out and drink, and I hated drinking. I hated everything to do with it, so I felt a lot of shame about them doing that. When I talked to her about it, I realised that she was really overwhelmed and it was her way of coping. When I tried to understand her need for an outlet, it gave me more information. I could see that she needed support, and then we could negotiate how that need for support would be met. It's really, really important that we create a different experience of interacting with an adult for them. In childhood, most of us had adults around us that neglected our needs, which might have been deliberate or may not have been on purpose. But either way, it's still hard. It might be that they were just having their own things going on, and so the attention that they gave us wasn't as we needed it to be. Either way, we need to be attentive to the needs of our parts now, which means that we need to get comfortable with accepting the fact that we have those needs. One of the first things that we did was to ask the others if they would let us know that they were there. Not everyone came forward and made themselves known, but a few did, and this was enough for us to start to discuss how we wanted our shared life to be and agree some commitments to each other about not hurting the body or changing it without asking everyone's permission. Our commitments to each other were made up of we wills and we will nots, and I kept it like this so that my child parts could understand. So we will be honest with each other, be willing to work on recovery, cooperate the best that we can, keep our outside commitments, attend inner meetings, bring difficult feelings to our inner meetings and ask another part for help, contain big feelings in jars so that they don't flood our whole system, ask permission before switching out, make sure an adult, a person or a part, for me I didn't mind, is around if a little is fronting. We will not hurt our body and not tell someone, start a relationship with anyone because I was married before I knew that they were there, be controlling of each other, drink alcohol or take medicine without letting the main front person know, take more medicine than we were prescribed, block each other out or take control of the body, mimic other parts so I don't know who it is that I'm chatting with, and the littles weren't allowed to cook or use sharp things. This isn't the full list, but it gives you an idea of the types of things that we started to cooperate on. One thing that I want to say at this point is that it's really important to be careful about asking parts to remove their coping strategies. Often we might get really angry because a part has hurt the body in some way, but when we talk to them, we might realise that they did this because they didn't want to do something much worse, which is why my rule was about not telling me rather than telling them not to do it. I want to make sure that if they did hurt us or make a mistake, that I could take care of it. and that they wouldn't feel like they were going to be punished. When I know about an issue, I can ask for help, but if I don't know, there's nothing I can do. In the beginning, the main thing that I focused on when I was on my own outside of counselling was talking to my parts and understanding what the need was and why they felt that they needed to do whatever it was that they were doing. This gave me the information I needed to understand the impact of making changes. I don't think we should underestimate the power of just listening to them. I noticed that mine really had never been attended to in any meaningful way, and the more I attended to my parts, the less they would seek out other people to care for them in ways that maybe weren't healthy boundaries. This can be a pretty heavy topic and bring up a lot of emotion, so I will leave it here for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them below. I'd love it if people could be supportive of each other. However, just be mindful that this is a public platform. I'm going to make more of these videos soon, so please like and subscribe, and if notifications aren't too distracting for you, then please hit the bell icon, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, bye!